you. Now I have been saving all of my makeup empties as well as my beauty empties, so I'm gonna do the makeup empties first, and then I will just do a quick overshot of my beauty empties for you. I'm not going to go through all of them, otherwise we will be here all day. So yeah, I'm going to tell you how much makeup I used up during 2018. So first of all, I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to give you the value of my makeup use up for 2018. I'm going to break it down month by month because I do keep a notebook which tells me everything. I write everything down. I'm a fiend for notebooks. So yeah, this is how much makeup I used during each month, and then a total value for 2018. So in January I used up £45.87. In February, £93.69. In March, £67.89. In April, £77.45. May was a good month and I used up £129.17 worth of makeup. In June, I guess May was so good that June was not so great, and I only used up £29.39. July was £88.49. August was £79.66. September was £46.64. October was £49.65. November £55.34. and December was £83.08. That is a grand total of £846.32, and I will do a currency converter to let my American friends know how much that is in dollars. So it will come up hopefully on the screen here. So that is a phenomenal amount, £846.32. The total value for makeup only was £368.02. So out of that 846, I used up 368. So I found that quite phenomenal, those figures. I'm pretty happy with myself. So let's get into the actual makeup that I used up. So first of all, I will let you know what my target number was of items to use up, and then I will tell you how many I actually used up. So starting off with primers, my target for 2018 was to use up 5 primers, and I managed to use up 6. Now I do count samples as 1 in my makeup inventory, so they also count as 1 in my empties inventory. Makes life simpler for me, it makes it easier, rather than having to go, well, is this a half, is it a quarter, is it... Everything is 1. Okay, so let's get started with my primers. I used up 2 eye primers, and the first one was a sample sheet of the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. So that was that one. And the next one was the Collection Primed and Ready Illuminating Reviving Eye Primer. This lasted me forever. Yeah, so that was 2 eye primers. Then I used up a couple of samples. I used up 2 MAC Prep and Prime samples. One was the Skin Base Visage. I did not like this one. And the other one was the Natural Radiance Base in Radiant Yellow. I really do like this one, but I prefer the pink one. So I do have a full size in the pink one, but I haven't finished that one yet. Just this small sample. Another sample that I went through was my Benefit Professional, and this is itty bitty tiny, but it lasted me a very long time. I think even if I was to repurchase this, because I did like it, I think I would still only purchase the mini travel size, because a full size of these would last me forever. So Yeah, so that was another one. And then the final primer I used up was a Nivea, and this was the Express Hydration Primer. This is not a primer. This was just basically a moisturizer. It didn't prime my skin at all. I think Nivea should just stick to hair care, skin care, not hair care, skin care, because this was not a primer. So for foundations, my target was to use 6 foundations, and I did. I did use 6 foundations. So let's start off with some samples again. This was the Avon True Flawless Cream to Powder Foundation. I got it in the shade Warm Ivory. This is like a cream. It starts off as cream and then goes to a powdery finish. Cakey. That's all I can say about it. Cakey. Did not like it one little bit. The next one I used up was a sample of the Clarins Hydro Quench Tinted Moisturiser. This would be really nice for those no makeup days when you just want a bit of colour to your skin, to cover up some like veining or whatever, but as a foundation, not really great. It's not meant as a foundation, it is a tinted moisturiser, so it's kind of like one of those no makeup days. So, but I did really like it. The next sample I had, sneak peek, this is my Clinique Beyond Perfection foundation. I just had a little sample pot of it and I really did like this foundation. It was really beautiful on my skin, loved it. On to the full size foundations now. This was a surprise. This is the Miss Beauty Flawless Matte Foundation. I got it in the shade 2. This was from my Pound Shop makeup tutorial, I suppose, and I was actually quite surprised. This was £1, and yet for an everyday foundation it worked. It just worked. Granted, it's not one that you would wear for special occasions or where you want your makeup to stay flawless all day, but on just pottering about and just wanting something to cover your skin up, it was okay. Another one I wouldn't really recommend was the Matte Effect by Revolution. This is no longer available anyway. This was back when Revolution were crap at making foundations. Recently they've come out with the Define and Conceal one, and I love that one, but this one was crap. I got it in the shade Golden. It was too dark for me. It was horrible. Did not like this. One foundation I did love and I will be repurchasing again in the future, but in my correct shade because I got it in porcelain and I am not porcelain. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Stay Fresh Foundation. I love this foundation. This was way too light for me, so I had to mix it with the Revolution one, but I do love this foundation. This is a beautiful foundation and I will definitely repurchase in the future. And another sneak peek from a Project Pan. This is my collection Illuminating Touch Foundation, again in the shade Porcelain. However, this shade Porcelain is slightly darker than the L'Oreal one, so I can kind of get away with it. I could maybe go a shade darker, but I could definitely get away with it. So yeah, I really like this foundation as an everyday kind of foundation. So yeah. For concealers, my target was to use up 3 concealers, and I actually used up 7. My goodness. So the first one was, again, a sample. This was the Boying Industrial Strength Concealer in the shade 2. I did not like this. This was thick, it was cakey. It was too much for me, too thick for my aging skin. The next one was a pencil. This is a Lord & Berry Conceal It crayon. I can't even get it out of the lid anymore because it's wedged in there. I didn't use this as a concealer, more like using it as a base for my eyeshadow, which I really enjoyed using it for. It was beautiful on my eyes, but not as an actual concealer, so I did like that. The collection Last in Perfection I went through. I know this is a lot of people's cult favourite, but I wasn't too impressed by it. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel drawn to this like a lot of people do. Like it's a nice concealer, but it's not phenomenal. Not for me anyway. One I did like was the Maybelline Fit Me. I got it in the shade 10. Now I know that they've brought out lighter shades now because a lot of people believe that 10 being the lowest number was actually the lightest, and it's not. It's quite dark. So for me, it actually suited my skin tone quite well because I'm not very pale. Or as pale as I thought. So I really did like this one, and this is one that I probably would repurchase again in the future. Another concealer I used up was the Flawless Light Reflecting Concealer by Barry M. Now this for me wasn't very much a concealer so much as a brightener, so I would apply this over the top of my concealer just to brighten up under my eyes. It has like a brush applicator rather than a doe foot applicator, so it was a bit weird, but I'm not going to rush out and re-buy it, but it wasn't bad, you know. However, the last two concealers I absolutely love, and I do have another one in my collection at the moment, and that is the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer. Now I have it in the super size now because I went through these pretty freaking quickly, like 6 weeks, and I was finished from start to finish. These were gone. So I have two shades. I had C3 and C4. I think for me C3 is more of a brightening concealer for me, and C4 actually matches my skin tone, so it's 6 and 2 threes which one I go with. But I really do love this concealer. I don't know if it's a Shape Tape dupe or not. I've never tried the Shape Tape, but I do like this, so you know, I do like that. So that is that. For setting powders, my target was 2 and I went through 6, so a lot more. So the first one I went through was my Manica D'Ar. Now this is the HD Perfecting Powder, and it's this tiny little thing, and yeah, this is full size. This is not a sample. Apparently Manica D'Ar do kind of travel friendly sized products. I was steaming when I got this in Birchbox. I couldn't believe that they claimed this as full size, and I thought it was crap. But then I discovered that this powder was really good for setting under my eyes and brightening under my eyes, and I loved it. I zoomed through this, and yeah, I don't think I would repurchase. This little thing is approximately 20 quid, so it's very expensive for the size of it. And I think there are other setting powders that are cheaper that I can get hold of a lot easier that can do pretty much the same thing. So that's that one. Another setting powder I went through was the Rimmel Stay Matte in transparent. That's all gone. This one kept going hard pan on me, so I might repurchase just to give it another chance, but I wasn't like wowed by it. One I was surprised by was the Miss Beauty setting powder in Sweet Touch. It had like a pink tone to it, so I really enjoyed that. I prefer a pink tone to a yellow tone in my makeup. So this was from the Pound Shop as well, so I was pleasantly surprised with that one. And one I got through was the Essence All About Matte Fixing Powder. I had to sellotape the packaging up because I was a little bit rough with it one day and it broke. This was stark white, so I couldn't use it as an all over setting powder unless I wanted to lighten up my foundation. But it was really good for under the eyes, so it was a really soft powder though, so it kept breaking up on me. So in the end I just took what was left, broke it up and kind of used it like a loose powder because it was very soft and kept breaking up on me. The other two powders that I used up were in my Ultra Contour palette from Makeup Revolution. There was a setting powder and a banana powder in this palette, and I used them both up, which leads me nicely on to blushes, bronzers and highlights. Now, unfortunately, throughout the year of 2018, I didn't manage to use up any blushes, but I'm fairly close at using up a cream blush, and I'm pretty close at using up another powder blush. So I think 2018, I'm going to be much better with my blushes, but I think that in 2019, I'm going to be okay with using up a couple of blushes, but for 2018, I was close, but didn't quite get there. Bronzers, however, I managed to use up one bronzer that was in this palette. I used it as a contour shade, so I really did enjoy contouring for a while. I don't do it very often, but I did enjoy using the contour shade in this palette. The other shades that were in this palette have been crushed up and deposited or depotted elsewhere. The other bronzer I used up was my MUA Sun-Kissed bronzer. My goal was to use up 2 bronzers for 2018, so I did hit that goal. For highlighters, my goal was to hit 2, and I actually hit 5. I hit 5 highlighters. So again, there was one highlighter in my Makeup Revolution Ultra Contour palette. It was kind of like a pink toned highlighter, so I kind of used it like a blush topper. So that went down really nicely. Another powder highlighter was in my I Heart Makeup Go to the City palette. It was this one in this palette here. This was a really softly pressed highlighter, and so it kind of went really quickly. When you put your brush in it, it just broke apart really. So yeah, I used all of that up. And then the other 3 highlighters I used up were my cream highlighters. I realised during the summer that I could get through them pretty quickly. So the first one was my Manicadar Glow Illuminator highlighter, and this one, because it had a bit of a bronzy tint to it, I was able to use it on my chest and on my arms and my neck during the summer to give my skin a little bit of glow. It looked a little tanned as well because I don't self-tan, and I really did enjoy that. And then the other one I used up was the Jelly Pong Pong Liquid Gossamer, and I used that in a very similar fashion during the summer on my arms and on my chest. It was really, really nice. And then the last highlighter I used up was this Benefit High Beam sample. I actually mixed this in with my daily moisturiser just to give my skin a little bit of glow with, you know, before I put my makeup on, or if I wasn't wearing makeup, my skin would still have a bit of glow to it once I'd moisturised. So that's how I've used that one up. On to lipsticks now. My goal for lip liners was 2. I only managed 1. Let me find the poor little bugger. Yeah, so I only managed 1. It was my Essence lip liner in Red Blush. That is completely gone. I really do like this lip liner. It's a beautiful deep red, and I think I will probably repurchase this again in 2019 because I think the only red lip liners I have now in my collection are more like an orange red, whereas this one was like a bluey red, so that will suit some of my red lipsticks better than the orange red, so I probably will repurchase this one. For lipsticks, my target was 5 and I actually used up 10. So I've been doing my lip service project pan, so I talked a lot about the lipsticks from that project pan in that video, so I'm just going to rush through. I used my Burt's Bees lip crayon in Niagara Overlook. I used my Revolution Power Duo lipstick in It's My Life. I used my L'Oreal's lipstick in Sepia Silk. I used my Rodial lip crayon in Big Apple. I used my Benefit Double the Lip in Pink Thrills. And then I also used the Pound Shop All About the Pout lipstick in Raspberry Smoothie. This was too bright for me, so I just kind of like, just sort of used it up to around the house kind of thing, just to get it used up. And then I did go through 4 Vice lipstick samples from Urban Decay. I do count these as one, so I went through Amulet, Conspiracy, Gubby and Rapture. Gubby was too light for me, so not one that I would think about repurchasing. Amulet was a beautiful mauve shade, and I did like that, but I have plenty of similar shades in my collection. Rapture was like a dusky rose, and I absolutely fell in love with Rapture. Definitely one I may think about purchasing full size in the future. But the one that I liked the most, surprisingly, was Conspiracy. Conspiracy was kind of like a metallized brown. Normally I'm not one for wearing like dark brown lipsticks, but because it had the metal, like the metallized finish to it, the metallic finish to it, it really sort of, I got complimented on my lip colour a lot when I was wearing that on some Instagram posts. So yeah, I think Conspiracy is probably the one I would probably pick up again in the future, in the full size, or maybe if they did minis, I'd definitely pick up a mini of it, just because it was unique and I don't have any similar colour in my collection. For liquid lipsticks, my goal was 3 and I actually used up 5. Can't count. So the first one is the NYX Lip Lingerie in Corset. This was in a project pan and I finished this up completely. Took the stopper out and everything, so completely used up. This was a cool toned brown or cool toned nude, so I did struggle at first to how to use it because I was doing a lot of warm eye looks. So once I started like experimenting with cool toned eye looks, I was able to use this up. And then the other 4 liquid lipsticks I used were my Vice liquid lipstick samples. So these were the liquid lipsticks from Urban Decay. I don't know where this one's gone, I must have thrown it out accidentally, but there are 4 here. There's Crimson, which was a deep red, Purgatory, which was a metallic sort of burgundy, WSM, which was a mauve, and Big Bang, which was a metallic pink. The worst one for me was Big Bang. It was very gritty on my lips. I could feel the glitter in it, and bright pink is just not my colour. My favourite was WSM because it was a mauve, and mauve is my go-to colour. Purgatory I probably wouldn't purchase because I'm not really keen on metallized finishes. Crimson was really nice. It was like that deep red, maybe similar to just deeper than what I'm wearing today. It was kind of like that blood red sort of shade, so very nice. So yeah, I used up all of those. For lip glosses, my goal was 2 and I managed to use up 4. So the first lip gloss I used up was my Hoola by Benefit. I don't like lip glosses, but I did like this one. However, unfortunately, I've had a look for it online. I don't think they're doing it anymore, so can't repurchase this one. The next one was my Revolution Amazing Sheer Lip Gloss. It was just in like a clear sort of pink tint sort of lip gloss. This is the kind of lip gloss that sticks your hair to your lips, and I didn't like that. The other lip gloss I wore was the Smith & Cult Mini in the Lovers. Again, this was very sticky, did not enjoy that. And then the other lip gloss I did use was in the Duo Revolution lipstick, It's My Life, and I used up all of the gloss in there. So that is completely finished. The next category is lip balms, and I wanted to use up 2 and I used up 6. My goodness. So I used up a couple of lip scrubs. The first one being Honey from Lush. This is a pot scrub. I like this. I love the smell. Smells delicious. What I don't like is it getting in my fingernails. So I then went on to the e.l.f. lip exfoliators. I have 2 here. I have one in Mint Maniac, one in Sweet Cherry. Now I don't normally dig out lipsticks because I have far too many, but these ones I did dig out because I love these. These are amazing. I will definitely repurchase. So yeah, I went through those. And then the lip balms I went through the Benefit Benny Balm. This left a nice red tint on my lips when I used it, so really enjoyed that. Another one that left a bit of a red tint was my Nivea Cherry Shine. Also went through that one. And then last but not least, I went through a tin of lip balm. So this was the Banana Split one, and yeah, that was it. I am so chuffed with myself because I've never ever finished a tin lip balm before, so yay me. So that was all my lip balms and scrubs. So on to eyes. For mascaras, I wanted to use up 3 and I used up 6. So the only waterproof mascara I went through this year was the Miss Manga Punky by L'Oreal. The brush on this is very spiky, so it gave me very spiky spider-like kind of eyelashes, which I wasn't a big fan of. And to be honest, I don't like wearing waterproof mascara unless I know I definitely am going to be crying or I need waterproof mascara. So this actually sort of dried up before I could finish it off completely because I didn't wear it all the time. Another one I went through was my Rimmel Extra 3D Lash Mascara. I do like the brush on this. Sort of gets wider in the middle and then thinner at the ends. I don't know why, but I kept poking myself in the eye with it. I just love the packaging. It's all like army camo on the British flag. So I really love that packaging. This is the only mascara I've purchased second time. So this is the second time I've purchased the Rimmel Extra 3D Lash because I just loved it so much the first time. However, the second time I wasn't as impressed. As I say, I kept poking myself in the eye with it. I used to love it for the bottom lashes, and I think I still kind of do. So yeah, that was that one. The next one, this is going to be controversial. This is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. This is a lot of people's favourite mascara, especially as it is drugstore. The packaging is just glorious. The brush is really, really nice and fluffy. However, I was not blown away by it. I wasn't. I wasn't wowed by it. Let's just say that. Another mascara I used was the Eau de Leak. Now, this is from a brand that is not very well known, but they try and use natural products for their makeup. And this one has a really nice kind of, I don't know if it's tea tree or, but something along those sort of essential oils sort of scent to it. The brush is beautiful, fluffy brush, which I really, really like. this is a nice everyday mascara. It's not going to lengthen, it's not going to volumize, but it is going to coat your lashes real nice and give you a very natural sort of look. And it's quite expensive. I think it's about £17. So yeah. The other mascara I used was Urban Decay Perversion. This is just a sample. The brush on this is still pretty big for a sample size, but yeah, I kind of liked it. I'd like to try the full size if I'm honest. But yeah, it made my eyelashes bigger, blacker and badder. Yeah, it did. The other mascara I had was actually Model Co's 3D Lash Primer. So you're supposed to apply this before your mascara and it's supposed to help your lashes look bigger. So that is that. It smells like glue, it looks like glue, it feels like glue. It was poo, basically. I hated it, did not like it at all. Yes, my mascara, my eyelashes did look better using this first and then a mascara, but I didn't feel like my lashes thanked me for using this, in all honesty. I think they were screaming at me, no, please don't do it to me again. So yeah, I wouldn't repurchase that. For eyeliners, my goal was 2 and I used up 2. So the first one was my Rimmel eyeliner in black. Get the lid off. So there it is, all empty in there. So nothing left of that. I did like it, but it does smudge. And then the other one was my Physicians Formula in brown. It's one of those that twists up, so it just twists up and down. I actually did like this. It was more like a bronze rather than a brown, so it had a bit of shimmer to it. So I really did like it. I got this in a 3-pack with a black and a blue. I decluttered the blue one because I have enough blue eyeliners in my collection, and I gave the black one to my daughter and she thoroughly enjoys it as well. For glitters and pigments, my goal was 1. I haven't used up any. For cream and stick eyeshadows, my goal was 3, and I am close. I am so close on a Maybelline Colour Tattoo, but I'm not there yet, so just missed out on that one. For eyeshadow pans, I wanted to hit pan in 20 eyeshadows, but I actually used up completely 12 eyeshadows. So one of the first ones I used up was this shade in my L'Oreal Le Palette Nude. So that is that one. Let me see if I can add a bit of light. So I used up completely this shade here, and that was in my L'Oreal Le Palette Nude Rosé. I also used up 2 shades in my Blush Nudes palette by Maybelline. Let me get this open without breaking a nail. So I used up completely these 2 shades here. This one was a white shade and this one was kind of like a pinky nude shade. So really pleased with that. And then again, because I count samples as one, this was a sample sheet from Urban Decay with the naked shades. So we had 2 shades each from each of the naked palettes. So we had Naked 1, Naked 2, Naked 3 and Smoky. So I used all of these up. I really did like them actually. I think if I was going to pick any of the naked palettes up, it would probably be Naked 3 and Naked Smoky. I really like those 2. However, I know Naked Smoky has now been discontinued. So I'd probably have to buy that second hand if I wanted to pick that up now. And I know Naked has now been discontinued anyway. So the only 2 available really now are Naked 2 and Naked 3. And I think Naked 3 was very similar to my L'Oreal Palette Nude anyway, so there's no need to pick them up. But I did enjoy using up those samples. For brows, my target was 3, however I only used up 2. The first one was this little bitty brow pencil that came out of Makeup Revolution brow palette. Completely use this up. Cannot, there's a little bit of product left in the back there, but I can't get this into my sharpener anymore. It's a tiny little pencil, so it was even too small for my pencil sharpener, so it wouldn't even sharpen properly. But yeah, got that completely used up. And then the other one was my Essence Make Me Brow Gel. This is in the soft brownie brow shade. It looks a bit of a mess there because I took the stopper out. FYI, don't do that, because it's a mess and it dried out so quickly after that. So yeah, I completely used up that. For setting sprays, I wanted to use up 2, and I actually used up 3. So the setting sprays I used up was the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. Look, this didn't do anything. It didn't set my makeup, it didn't make my makeup last longer. It was just a refreshing spritz at the end of a makeup routine. That's all that was. Another one that was kind of refreshing to use was my Sport Effects Time Out Face Mist and Fix. Now this has a bit of a, like a tea tree oil sort of scent to it. So I didn't feel comfortable using this over my makeup. So what I would do is I would actually use this just before bed, and I would spritz my face with it. And then the scent from the tea tree oil would help relax me and send me to sleep. And that's how I kind of used that up. And then the last one I used up was my MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus in the coconut scent. I hate the packaging of this. I love the product. Yes, I would repurchase again, but MAC needs to sort out its packaging. This to my tiny little hands, it's too big. I can't. So yeah. So final products is nail polishes, and I wanted to use up 10 and I used up 6, so I really need to push on my nail polishes in 2019. So the first 2 I used up are both the same products, so I'll talk about them together. These are the Champneys top coat. I kind of use them as base coat, top coat, whatever. They were okay, but in the end I had a little bit left of the second one and I had to dump it out because what was happening was my nail polish was starting to peel off, but I did use those up. A top coat that I did really enjoy was the Sally Hansen Insta Dry top coat, and I really did like this. This is one I will definitely repurchase again in the future, but I do want to try the Barry M Insta Dry top coat and Sèche Vite. I think I'd really like to try Sèche Vite this year. A base coat, sort of stronger nails treatment was the Rimmel Stronger Nails Nail Nurse. So I used that up completely. So I do like this. However, I've since been taking zinc tablets, which really help with my nails and my hair. And I've noticed that my nails are a lot stronger while I'm taking my zinc supplements than they ever were when I used this as a base coat. So I'm not going to repurchase this. I'm just going to keep taking my zinc supplements. So yeah. I did, however, go through 2 coloured nail polishes. So let me show you those. This one was L'Oreal Colour Riche nail polish in Crystallissime. It was a beautiful top coat with a sort of blue and purple shimmer to it. I love this. This I put on top of boring cream shades, so a baby blue, because I'm not very keen on baby blue nail polishes, but I have a couple in my collection now. But putting this over the top of it made it just be so much nicer on my nails. So I'm not surprised that I went through this, because if I didn't like the colour, I'd just pop some of this on and I would instantly love the colour. So yeah, I would repurchase this one if I can find it, but I don't think they do these anymore, so I certainly haven't seen them in my local L'Oreal Stand-Up Boots. And the other one was Mini. This was the Nails Ink nail polish in Tate. So that is it, all gone. There was a little bit of this left that I couldn't quite reach with the brush. So what I ended up doing was taking what was left in here and dumping it into another polish and mixed it up, make a Franken polish with it. But this is completely gone. So yeah, so that is that. So that is it. That is my makeup empties for 2018. It's a lot of makeup and I'm really proud of myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Hit that bell button so you'll be notified when my next video goes up. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!